So my new iPad has arrived and I'm so excited. How in the world do I set it all up? Let's show you. So I'm going to take the lid off. And there it is, the iPad. So I'm going to take this off, and usually there's a cellophane cover on it, so you can take that off and throw that away. I'll put this to the side here. Underneath the booklet, you have your charging cable and also your charging brick. Really notice that if you do have an iPad, that it is a little bit different. It is a little bit thicker. And so also the cord to go into this is also different as well. So you can't use one of the old iPad chargers that maybe you had from an iPhone or an older iPad. So I'm just going to put that to the side. And now I'm going to say, okay, how do I turn this on? I've never used an iPad before. So you can see here, this is the home button. Opposite top right-hand corner, right here, you see the power button. And I'm just going to hold that down for a second or two. And when I hold that down, then that beautiful apple comes on. And we're just going to wait a second for that apple to come on and then just get started with the process of setting this all up. So there I have it. And what you're going to see first is I have to choose my language. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to touch the iPad and click English. And then my country that I live in is the United States. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click inside there and click for United States. And then it's going to give me this message here. Basically it's saying if I have another iPad close by, I can take it and I can set that up. Oh no, it jumped back to the original settings. Let's go back to English, United States. I can set this up manually, or if I had another iPad, I could set it up based upon that. I'm going to set this one up manually. Next, I have to choose my Wi-Fi. And so I have a bunch of different Wi-Fis there, and hopefully you know your Wi-Fi password. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click inside there. I'm going to pause the video just for a second so that I can put my password in. Now that I've put my password in, it's going to take a couple of minutes to activate my iPad. So just bear with it. It could take anywhere from 2 to 30 seconds. There I go. Next, I have the data and privacy. I'm going to just go ahead and hit continue. And the next thing I have here is the Touch ID. You can do one of two things. You can set the Touch ID up now. And what I really love about Touch ID is you can use your fingerprint to wake up your iPad. Similar to my iPhone, I have my Face ID. For the iPad, I can set up a Touch ID so that my Touch ID is there. And anytime I use any of my fingerprints that I load onto the iPad, I can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit continue so I can show you what that looks like. So basically what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to place my finger on the home button there. And the home button is right, it's the circle down here at the bottom. And what it's basically telling me to do is telling me to move my thumb all around. And you can see as I move my thumb around, the fingerprints on the screen are going to start to cover up. And so I just have to keep doing that. The more I move my finger, the better it is. Sometimes I can put it on and take it off. That helps as well. And you can see I'm almost done. I must have all the lines covered up there. Keep going to capture the edges of your print. I'm going to go ahead and continue. So now I've got to roll my thumb a little bit. Roll it to the right, roll it up top, roll it down below, roll it left. You can take it and move it all around again. And it says it's complete. So I'm going to hit continue. And I can go ahead and I can also create a passcode for it. Because maybe I don't want to use my thumb ID or my finger ID. I can use a passcode, so I can set that up. Notice that underneath those circles, it says passcode options. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that. And it says I can use alphabetical numbers if I wanted. I can use a custom number. I can use a 4-digit number. And what I thought I could do, so I'm going to do a 4-digit number. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to ask me to redo it again. And so now I've put a passcode in as well. So now it's going to take a second. And so here's the big thing that you have to realize and understand now. So I have several things I can do with my iPad. If I had a previous iPad, I can restore it from a backup that I had up in the iCloud. If I had my Mac or PC and I was using iTunes, I could do it that way. I could transfer directly from an iPad. So if I had another iPad close by, I could set it up like that. I could move data from Android, which is completely new, and I could do nothing. I could just start this completely fresh and different. So for me personally, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to not transfer any apps and data. I want this iPad to be completely brand new. I'll add apps as I go. I will tell you that the course, we have several apps and things we do on the iPad. If you got the lowest storage possible on the iPad, I'd set it up from nothing, and then you can restore it later, and we can bring back an iPad that you had previously. But I'm going to go ahead and hit Don't Transfer Apps and Data. And so now it's going to ask me for my iPad, my Apple ID. If you do not have an Apple ID, then you should create one online first, and I will put a link in Canvas for you to do that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to put my Apple ID and password in. And put my passcode in, and now it's going to ask me, because I have two-step verification set up on my device, it's going to ask me for a code. And so I've got messages flying all over all my devices now asking me, will I allow this or not allow this to work? So I'm going to go ahead and hit allow on my phone, and then it's going to give me a 6-digit code. And so this code is different every single time. And so there's my 6-digit code. And then it's going to go ahead and it's going to set up my Apple ID. Next, I have terms and conditions. If you choose to, you can go ahead and have them sent to you. You can click on the links there, or in the bottom right-hand corner, you can go ahead and hit agree. And again, that's going to take a couple of minutes, it says, to set that all up for us. So bear with us as we do that. Okay, so now I have come up with this message next. And it's basically saying, make this your new iPad. Here's everything to get started. Everything as you had it on your other iPad. Learn more. So I can go ahead and I could transfer the apps. And so it says I don't have any. The settings, nothing. And then the Apple Wallet, which I'll have another video on, is there. So I can do one of two things. I can continue with what I see in front of me, or I can customize that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And so it's setting up my Apple Cash, which allows us to make purchases online from my iPad. And so that's kind of nice. And so it's slowly running through that process to set that up. And what it's going to do, it's going to ask me for my security code for this particular card. I don't have that security code with me right now, so I will hit add this card to wallet later. So it kind of bypasses that. Next, I have Siri. And so it's asking, do we want to improve Siri and the dictation? And I'm going to say not now, personal preference. And then last but not least, I have welcome to iPad, and I can hit get started. And so what it's going to do now, it's going to ask me a bunch of different questions. And so I'm going to say allow. And so now my iPad is set up. And if I scroll through, it's just the basic iPads that come with all the apps that come with the iPad. I have nothing else set up there, and so it's great. It's fresh, it's clean, it's brand new. Because what this course is going to do, I'm going to have you set it up completely from scratch if you want to do that, or if you want to go the other way and restore it from something else, you can do that as well. But we're going to add apps as we go. And the first app, there's going to be the next video is all about how to get Canvas onto your iPad, because that's the learning management system that we will use for this course. I hope this opening video helps, and let me know if you have any questions.